Hey guys, welcome to Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles. I'm Kishore and today I'm going to solve a Sudoku titled Round Round, and it was created by Mr. Menace. This Sudoku has been taken from the CTC Discord server, and this Sudoku caught my eye for some reason, and I thought of making a live solve of it for you guys. The link to solve is given in the description of the video. Do give it a try before watching this video. So let us move on to the rules of the Sudoku now. Okay, it is a hybrid variant. So normal Sudoku rules apply. Each row, each column and 3 by 3 box will have digits from 1 to 9 without any repetitions. And in addition to that, XSums and Thermo Sudoku rules apply. So what is an XSum rule? The clues outside the grid mark the sum of the first X digits placed in the corresponding direction, where X is the first digit placed in that direction. So if for instance if you take that clue 10 and suppose you have the first digit is as, let's say, 3, then this means that the sum of these 3 digits would have to be 10, because you have 3 here. The sum of first 3 digits should be 10, and this works similarly for other clues as well. So for example, if 28, if you have 4 here, the sum of these 4 digits must be equal to 28. It depends on what value goes here. And then we have Thermo Sudoku rules. Starting from the round bulb until the end of the thermometer, digits will be strictly ascending, strictly in increasing order. So we have a good hybrid Sudoku here. So let us see what it has for us. Seems interesting. Very few clues and very few thermos. So we'll start the Sudoku now. And because the thermos are short, I'm going to focus on the XSums clues at the start. So 10 can't have 1, right? If you have 1 here, then the sum would be equal to 1 because there is only one digit. So for 10 you can have only 2, 3 or 4. If it is 2, then this would have to be 8, and 2 plus 8 gives you 10. So 3 is possible. Some of these 3 digits would be 10, and 4 is also possible, in which case you will have 1, 2, 3, 4 in some order. So these are the only possible digits here. Okay, so I have maybe 16 and 18 to look at next. So I have 16 here. 16 can not obviously be 2, because sum of 2 digits can never be 16. It can be 3. Sum of 3 digits can be 16. It can be 4. And it cannot be 5. Because if you have 5 here, then these 5 digits need to add up to 16 with a 5 as part of the sum. That is never possible, because when you have 16 made up of 5 digits, the only possible combination is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 6, which does not have a 5. So which means that 5 is not possible. So only 3 or 4 is possible here. So let us go to this 18. 2 is ruled out. 3, 4 and 5 are the only possible digits here. If you have 6, the sum becomes minimum 21. So 6 is not possible here. Let me go to 20 next. 2 is ruled out. 3 is possible. 3, 8 and 9. 4 is possible. 5 is possible, right? You have 5. These 5 digits will sum to 20. 6 is not possible because again you will have 21, right? So 3, 4 and 5 are the only possible digits. And for 27, you can't have a 3, because then these 2 digits must add up to 24, which is not possible. 4, which means these 3 digits must sum up to 23. That is possible. So 4 is possible. 5 is possible. 6 is also possible. But 7 is not possible, because if you have 7, we know that the minimum sum of 7 digits, right, when the range is from 1 to 9 is 28. So 7 is not possible. So 4, 5 and 6 are the only possible digits there. Let me go to 26. So 3 is ruled out, not possible, because you need 23 from 2 cells, which is not possible. 4 is possible. 5 is possible. 6 is possible. 7 is not possible. Okay, so 4, 5 and 6. And 28. For 28 we would need minimum 4 digits, right? So 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay, if you have 7 here, then all these cells will be 1 to 7, and these two cells would be 8, 9, right? Because for 7 to work, that's the only possible way. But you can't have 8 or 9 here, because this is a 4 cell long thermo, and an 8 here needs a 9 and 10 at least here. So 8 and 9 is not possible, which means that you can rule out 7 from here. So this is 4, 5 and 6. Okay, the last clue left here. So let us start with the 34. So you can't have a 4, right? Because these three cells must sum up to 30 then, which is not possible. 5 is possible, I think. These cells must sum up to 29. Okay, 5 is also not possible, guys, because when you have 34 made up of 5 digits, the one and only possible combination is 4, 6, 7, 8 and 9. There is no other combination possible. So which means that we can eliminate 5 also from here. So 6 is possible, 7 is possible, 8 can be ruled out, 8 and 9. Because if you have 9, it becomes 45, and if you have 8, then some of these 8 cells must be 34 and this cell must be 11. We know that in any row, column or box, the sum of digits from 1 to 9 is always 45. So which means that you can rule out 8 from this cell. So that's not 8, so that is 6 and 7. Okay, now that I've written all the XSum clues, the first digits, so let me think here how this works. Wow, this is beautiful, guys. Look at this clue. So this partial triplet almost, interested me a lot. You can't have a 6 here. I was looking to get a triplet here, and I was wondering what happens if this is a 6. So when this is a 6, right, these 6 cells will be summing up to 27. And for 10, we will need at least 2 clues, right? We can't take 3 clues now, because then these 3 cells and these 6 cells will add up to 37. But we know that in any row, column or box, the sum is always 45. So this is a nice interesting trick in XSums Sudoku. You can always use the sum of any column to adjust the total or the digits a bit. So this is not part of the sum. So we need 2 digits at least for making 10. So which means that 10 plus 27 plus this would have to be 8, right? To get to 45, this would have to be 8. And now these two cells sum up to 8. And only these two cells, which means that this must be 2. And this must again be an 8. Because obviously 3 is not possible, as we just saw. So this is again contradicting, right? Which means that you can't have 6 here. That's a really nice deduction. So let me just remove the colors and I'll eliminate the 6 from that cell. So that becomes 3, 4, 5 triplet. So maybe it would be helpful for us. Okay, look at this clues, guys. Really interesting, right? If you add 20 and 26, you're getting 46, which is one more than the total that in any row, column or box. So which means that we can conclude that there is exactly overlap of one cell between the clues, and that overlapped cell needs to contain 1, right? So that the 1 gets counted twice and the total becomes 46. So which means that for an example I'm showing you, suppose this is 5, then this would also be, right, the overlap has to be here. If this is a 5, actually it could not be a 5. So let's say this is a 4, then this would have to be a 6, and this cell would be the overlap. So this has to contain a 1. So which means that we can make use of that really well. So we just saw that 5 is not possible, because if it is 5 and then the overlap has to happen here. Okay, but it could always be, okay, yeah, so it has to stop at the overlapped cell, right? So if you have a 5 clue here, let's say if this is 5, which means that this cell has to be the overlapped cell, right? So let me color that again using a different color. So the overlap happens here, and you'll notice that in this case this clue is also 5 and this is also 5, which is never possible, right? So basically what I'm trying to say is that these two cells must sum up to 10, because when they sum up to 9, the total becomes 45, right? This is a basic fact. When they sum up to 9, these two cells sum up to 9, the total becomes 45. And to get the total to 46, we need exactly one cell which is overlapping, and which means that the first clues in either direction, that is this and this, must add up to 10. And that is a more cleaner way of explaining, I would say. So which means that 3 is not possible because you don't have 7. 5 is also not possible because again you need a 5, so this has to be a 4. Beautiful, right? And that has to be a 6. So which means that the overlap happens here, and this would have to be a 1. And now we are getting the digits. So this is 4 or 5. And because you have 4 here, this becomes a 5. This becomes 3. And 13 now needs 16 clue now needs 13 from these cells. 4 and 9, 5 and 8 are ruled out. So this would have to be a 6, 7. And the thermo resolves them immediately. So that's a 6 and that's a 7. And now if you look at this row further, the remaining digits are 1, 2, 8 and 9. We can be certain that these cells cannot take 1 or 2 because they are part of a thermo, and they would be minimum 3, which means that there is only one way to fill the 8 and the 9 in that row, and I can place the 1 and 2 here. And just a second guys, let me, yeah. So I have 5 here, and I can't have 4 here, because if you have 4 then the total becomes 45. So I'll remove the 4 from that cell, so that's 2 or 3. And if I have a 2 here, this would be 8, and these two cells must sum up to 8, which is possible, right? Okay, let us not go along that direction. This clue is done. This is yet to be done. Look at this 20. So 4 plus 1 is 5, and these two cells must sum up to 15. 15 is possible only in two ways: 6 and 9 and 7 and 8. 6 and 9 is ruled out, so that becomes 7, 8. And which means that these cells must be 2, 3, 5, 9. 9 is obviously not possible here, and because this is at least 3 in value, 2 is also not possible. So this is 3 and 5, which means that this must be greater than this cell, and this must be 5 and 9. Okay. Okay, so let us just think a little bit here. Okay, this is not 3, right? Using classic, 3 is removed. Okay, that's nice. This can't be a 4, guys, because when you have a 4, then these 3 cells must sum up to 24, so that the total is 28. But for 24 to happen, you need 7, 8, 9 in these 3 cells, which is clearly not possible. So that is a 5. And these cells sum up to 28 now, which means these cells sum up to 23, subtracting the 5, so these would be 23. Okay. Okay, one thing is certain, guys. If I have a 2 here, this becomes 8, right? But if I have a 3, sorry, if I have a 3 there, then these cells will sum up to 10, and 10 plus 27 is 37, and which means that this would be my 8. So I can be certain that either this cell is 8, the common logic I'm extracting, or this cell is 8. If this is 2, this is 8, and if this is 3, these become 10, and these become 27, and for the column this would have to be 8. So 8 is in one of these cells. A small deduction you can say. Okay, so I have 28 from here, plus 6 is 34, which means I need 11 from these 3 cells. Okay, I can do something with that data. So I have 11 from these 3 cells, which means that this cell can maximum be a 4, right? It cannot be anything more than that, because if you have 5 6, obviously 5 6 are ruled out. You have a 7 here, this becomes minimum 8, and the total is already greater than 11, which means that this can only be maximum 4. So 1 2 3 4, let me use center pencil mark. So 1 2 3 4, right? So if I have a 4, 4 is also eliminated. This becomes minimum 7, and I have 11 from 2 cells. So I need 11 from 3 cells. So that's 1 2 3. If I have 3, then this would be 4. This would be 4 again, not possible. If I have 3, then this would have to be invariably 11, and this would be 1. Yes, that's possible. 3 7 1, and these would be 8 and 9. Okay, I don't see any problem there. Okay, maybe let's write some possibilities here. So this can maximum be 4 because of the 6 here, and minimum 1. So 1 2 3 4, and this would be 2 3 4 5. 3 is removed from this cells because we have a 3. Okay. Okay, somewhere there is some deduction I'm yet to see. Maybe this thermo will help us, because you have 3 5 here, which means that this would be minimum 2 and maximum 4, because the maximum value here is 5, so this would be max 4. So 2 3 4, and this would be 1 2 3. Okay. Very interesting Sudoku, guys. Not an easy one. There's some narrow deductions that are to be determined. Okay, I can't have a 4 here. That's a really sharp deduction. So a 4 here, right, gives me a 5 here, and that removes both the possibilities. So 4 is not here. Really small deduction again. Okay, this is minimum 2. This would be 6 minimum. Okay. Is this helping me now? So if I have 11 here, 7 here, then these cells will sum up to 34, and I need 11 from the last 2 cells. So 11 from these cells, which can be 2 9 and 3 8. Okay, don't think this is helping. I have 6 here, these would be 11. Again, that is also possible. Okay, somehow I think that this may be helpful now. 27. Okay, up to here 27. So either these 2 cells add up to 8, or this cell is adding up to 8, because we know that 10 requires at least 2 cells, so which means that 8 is coming from these 2 cells or from this cell. Okay, let us assume that 8 is coming from these 2 cells, in which case this has to be a 2, and that has to be an 8, and now we need 8 from here, which cannot be 3 plus 5, which cannot be 2 plus 6, so it would be 1 plus 7. Okay, so that means this is 1 and that is 7. Okay, so in either case this is only 7 or 8. That's beautiful, right? Common logic. So if you have 10 comprised of 3 cells, this has to be 8, and if you have 10 comprised of 2 cells, this has to be a 7. Only possibility. No other possibility is there. Oh, this is fantastic, guys. This cannot be a 3. I couldn't spot that. Yeah, so if this is a 3, look what happens. These cells must sum up to 7, right? Which is not possible. You cannot have 2 plus 5, you cannot have 3 plus 4, and you cannot have 1 plus 6. So this is not a 3. That's really nice. So this would be a 2. Superb. So that becomes 8. And that removes the 2 from that cell. So that becomes 7 now. That has to be 1 as we saw. And because of that 7, we get a 6 here. And now the Sudoku is beginning to run. 1, 2, 5, 7, 8. So these cells would be 3, 4, 6, 9. 4 is removed here. This becomes 3, 6, 9. 9 is removed here. And this can't be 3. So 6 and 9. So can I have 3 here? If this is 3, then this becomes 2 and this becomes 1, which is clearly not possible. So that's a 6. That's a 9. That becomes 3, 4. And which means there is no 3 there. And which means that this would be a 3 for the column. And that means that gives a 2 here and a 1 here. Really beautiful, guys. Look, the sequence of digits, absolutely gorgeous, right? So we got 1, 2 here, right? 4, 7, 8, 5, 6, 9. So these would be 1, 2, 3, and 2 in column 4 now has only one cell. This would be 2, and now 6 is coming from 34 is coming from these 6 cells. So these would be 11. 1 plus 2, 3, and this would be 8. Okay, 3, 4. So we get a 3, 4 pair here, which means this would be a 5, 9. So 5, 7, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this has to be 6 and 8. Okay, I can do something here, I think. You have 6 here, which means this would be maximum 4, because 4, 5, 6. So minimum 2. 1 is not possible. So this is 2, 3, 4. And this would be 3, 4, 5. And 3, 4 is quickly eliminated because of this pair. So that's a 2. And that's a 5. And that gives me a 4 here. Beautiful. So because of this 18, these two cells must sum up to 13 now. 4 plus 9, 5 plus 8 is ruled out. So this is 6, 7. That gives a 6 here and an 8 here. This is also resolved. 4 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 4, 6, 7, and 9. 2, 5, 9, 3, 4, 6. So these would be 1, 7, and 8. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 1, 7, 8. So 3, 5, 9. All classic. Okay, this clue is yet to be utilized, right? We have used all the other clues except this one. So I have got 2 digits there, which means these 3 digits must sum up to 21. Because 5 plus 2 is 7 and I need 28. So these 3 digits add up to 21 without a 6. Okay, which means that 9 has to be there. Because when you don't have 6 as part of the 3 digit sum, which involves what happened? I don't know what just happened. 9. That was a 9. Somehow they got erased. So when you have 21 from 3 cells, of which 6 is not a part, so 9 is definitely going to be there. And we need 12 more from 2 cells, which is not 5 plus 7, which is not 3 plus 9. So it's 4 and 8. Okay. So I can be sure that the 21 has only one possibility. 4, 8, 9. 4, 8, 9. Okay, 8 is ruled out from here. So this is 4 and 9. And this would be 4, 8, and this would be 8 and 9. Only possible way to write those digits. and you have 3 7 1 3 7 here, so this is 3 7 and this would be 1 7. Okay, 7 is ruled out, guys. If you have a 7, this becomes 8 and 9, right? So that's a 3, which means that is 1, that is 7, and 1 in column 1 has only one cell left, so this is a 1, which means that's not 1, that's 2 3. And now it should be easy to place the 2 in column 1, has exactly one cell left. These two cells can't take a 2, so that is a 2. 1 2 3 4 7 and 8, which means this is 5 6 and that is 6 and 9. Okay, I have 8 here, right? Which means this can't be 8, so that's a 4. That becomes 9, that becomes 8. So this would be 2 3 and that would be 1 and 2. Because I have 1 here, so that becomes 2, that becomes 3, and that 2 gives me a 1 here, a 2 here, a 3 here, and a 1 here. And to complete the column we would require a 9 here, and this pair can be resolved because of this 4, so that's 4, that's 3. I have 1 7 8 here, 8 can't be in column 7 and 8, so 8 goes here. This becomes 1 7 pair, so 1 6 8 9 2 3 and 5, so this would be 4 7, and because this is a thermo we can easily place that 4 and 7. So 1 4 7 8 and 9, and I have 3 6 here, which means 3 6 gets locked here for the box, and these would be 2 5 and 2 can be placed 2 and 5 3, so 3 and 6 3 6 7, so 7 8 1 2 8 9 3 6 and 7, so these would be 4 and 5 and these would be 8 and 9. Just a gorgeous Sudoku, guys. Simply I'll just give it 9 out of 10 just because of the solve. It's so beautiful. So 4 5 8 2 and 3, and we have 1 6 7 and 9 remaining, right? So 1 can't go here, so 1 goes here. 1 2 8 3 6 9, so this is not 9, so that's 5, which means this is 5, this is 9. That 5 gives me a 6 here, a 9 here, and a 5 here, which means these would be a 3 9 pair, and because of this 3, that becomes 3 and a 9, and which means this 8 9 can be resolved, so 9 and 8, 7 here, so 7 and 6, and 1 3 5 8 2 6 9, so okay, so this becomes 4 7, 1 3 7 6 and 9, so 2 4 5 8, 5 8 can't be here, so this becomes a 5 8 pair. That 8 gives me 8 here, a 5 here, which gives a 5 here, a 4 here, a 4 here, and a 2 here. That can resolve this pair, so that's 4 and that's 7. So 1 2 3 4 5 8 and 9, so this becomes 6 and 7. 2 3 6 7 4 5 8, so this becomes 1 and 9, and I think you can just quickly resolve blindly. That's a 9, that's a 1, that's 1, that's 7, that's 7, and that's 6. And with that we have completed this really fun to solve Sudoku by Mr. Menace. And I still don't know why it is called round round. I think maybe it has to do with the thermos, because they are all round, right? These two thermos are round, so maybe that's why. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed a lot watching me solve this really beautiful Sudoku. We hope to see you soon with the video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. Bye bye.